Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello.
At ease. Testing the speakers at 1800. Testing the speakers at 1800. That is all. On three.
Hi, Don, can you hear me?
Councilman, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right.
Okay.
So don't touch
Perfect.
anything, please. We won't touch anything over here.
I think everything's good over here.
And the mayor owes you a Red Bull. I borrowed one of your Red Bulls out of the fridge, by the way.
That one's on, that one's on.
Okay. I expect full repayment.
Okay.
You want to? That one turned on. That one says HDMI 1, no signal. Are they connected? Which one do you want? Remote access, connection guide, universal remote, or TV? Well, they're both on unknown because they're both checked. But that one's not turning on. Yeah, see, it changed it. Yeah, but it's doing both of them at the same time. No matter what I choose. Let's go. Meow. I broke it. Let's try this. Oh, newer.
Phil, it's not anything on your end. It's something within the council chambers. But I think we'll be all right.
Yeah,
We'll be all right. We'll be all
I
right.
hear and see everything fine on my end.
Okay, yeah, it's just that we're just gonna, you won't be able to see, the audience won't be able to see the monitors, like they normally do. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay, let's just roll with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Well, here's our tech guy. Let's give him a few minutes.
I broke the TV. I fixed it. It's still off.
Yes. You didn't think we had. Okay. Bless you.
Did you get here in time for any of the stuff in the back there? You better get some, it's good. Okay. When they have them here, it's my one chance to shout out.
Did you come straight from work, or did you? Oh.
Rescue 50.
Okay, all right.
Frank.
Are we good?
That's not me. I'm good.
All right, you're good. Here we go.
I'm good.
At this time, the mayor will call to order the regular city council meeting for 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 7th of 2024, City Council Chambers, 201 East Nash Street in Terrell, Texas. We have with us here on the dais District 2, Grady Simpson, District 3, Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Mayor Pro Tem. We have District 4, Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem. And we have remote District 5, Phil Robinsons. At this time, we'll do invocation. Grady, would you please lead us in invocation, sir?
Yes, Mayor. Will you bow our heads, please? Oh, Father God, we come giving you thanks for another council meeting. We thank you for our citizens. We thank you for all the wonderful things that we've been able to do for the city of Terrell. We ask for your guidance and for your direction. We pray for our state and we pray for our country. We ask that you will watch and keep every young man and woman who's serving this country in war. Guide us and keep us, because God, you are in trouble. You are in control, not us. Let us know that we will have a bright future because it's all in your hands. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Allegiance to the flag.
To the flag.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, at this time, we have mayor and council community recognitions and events. We did have, the Taco Festival that was held over the weekend. It was a great success. A lot of people out and about and didn't hear anything but good things. We want to thank our staff. We want to thank the Chamber of Commerce. It's never easy to put something like that together, but they always figure out a way to make it happen. There was threat of rain, and it held off, so the Lord was watching after us with the weather. And just want to say thank you to all who participated in that, our vendors that showed up. Also, our dancing folkloric, the Mexican groups that were here performing. They had the little bitty girls up to the adults, and it was really cool to watch them perform and talk to them afterwards. We also had our youth who set up and sold things to the public, so it was good to see them out. And it was a great event by everyone, so thank y'all for your efforts. Does anybody else have any council recognition of events? Hearing none, the mayor does have one more. It was an honor to have our District 2 Grady Simpson representative to do the prayer today. He has always stepped up and be a leader in that area. And starting off our council meetings with a word of prayer, we want to say thank you. And today, we want to recognize Grady Simpson in District 2. This will be Grady's last council meeting. And I want to thank him for his service to the city of Terrell and to District 2. Grady and I go way back to the days when we played high school football together. So I know Grady very well. It has been an honor to serve with him and to see him be dedicated to the growth of the city of Terrell, put his heart and soul in the decisions that he made for this city. Grady always put his best effort in representing District 2. He always committed himself. So Grady, thank you for your part in making Terrell a better place for all of us, and it has really been an honor to serve with you as mayor and for you to be a council member. Would anybody else like to say anything?
Mayor, I've had the chance to speak to Grady already, but I just don't know how we are going to fill the void on, his always his encouragement and support for city staff, for projects, or just, just kind of reviving maybe a quiet room with the energy that he brings in when he steps in. So I will always appreciate, his call to see maybe a concern that he had in his district, or maybe it is on the border of District 3, but always with the intent to make sure that I had a good understanding of why he was advocating for the needs of his district. And then also, when I rolled in, I was, of course, at that time, the newest council member, so it's always a privilege to be taken under the mayor, or your former council member, your council members, your colleagues' wing as well, to advise you and to help you as well as you're in the new role. So, Grady, thank you for your time and your service and everything that you've done to support District 3 and the entire city of Terrell.
Anyone else?
I would like to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Grady, we are very appreciative of your service to the city. I remember coming on 3 years ago, and you embraced me, and you were always so kind and so gentle. You had a gentle, loving spirit. I also think of you as always being the best-looking, best-dressed man in the room. And I can appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because sometimes with other responsibilities, I don't get to do that as much as I'd like to.
Right.
But I remember you as being that. I'll always remember your love for this community, for Southwestern Christian College, and your heart for it and the students there. I also think of you as a nurturer, because I know some of the efforts you took and you're taking, to take care of your mom, and that's always important to me. Yes. You only get one. And I just want to thank you, and I wish you well in all your endeavors. And I want to be still seeing you around. I know I will. Yes, ma'am. Because you just seem like you ought to be here. You just seem like you ought to be in Terrell. Terrell is who you are, and Terrell is who I am. So I'll be seeing you. And thank you again.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate that.
Phil? Councilman?
Grady, I know this isn't the last we're going to see of you for Terrell. You're still going to continue to service on the EDC, and you're still going to be, a really important player in city affairs. And we appreciate all you've done. I got a chance to get to know you a bit on our recent trip to Washington. I definitely found you to be a person who's very, very passionate about Terrell, a very spiritual person, and glad to get to know you. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, and good luck in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will take us back to June of 2017. Some of you will recall that's when Tommy Spencer passed away. And we can't let the occasion go by without also saying, Grady Simpson came in when there was a lot of sadness on council, because that was a tough moment. That was a legend of a man who passed away while he was in office. And Grady came forward, as a lot of you guys have mentioned, and he was able, with some spirituality and just a natural ability to nurture people, come in and kind of help heal. And that was an important thing. And that was staff also, because a lot of us cared very deeply about him. And we appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you going out and being the kind of person who would go to the police department and meet individually with the police and thank them for their service, and the fire department. I'm pretty sure Grady Simpson showed up the first day that he was an elected official and already knew like 75% of the people who worked here. And I will echo something the mayor said, and that is, it's an impressive person who can do a good job praying. And in all the time I've known Grady Simpson, I've never heard him offer up a self-centered prayer. A lot of people pray about me, me, me. And Grady was always praying about the city. He was praying about the people around him. He was praying about his family. And I think there's a lot to admire in that. So I just want to add my thanks and my appreciation to everything you've done. No joke, 100%. I have never had an elected official in my 30 years of working on different issues in all my career who could give us a passionate and personal request to a federal agency about something that his community needed. That guy can hit that out of the park, and I've seen him do it more than once, and I just really appreciate that. We were most recently in D.C., and you're doing that for us on Quiet Zone on behalf of Southwestern Christian College and downtown in your district, and that's talent. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate you very much. Really do.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. That means well, I'm going to be last. Attorneys should be last, always.
Here in a minute, I think staff member wanted to say
Oh,
something. Go
okay,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say, I'll always remember Grady as a committed person, as the more or less the bedrock of this council. I always can remember times when there was a tough vote to be made. Grady made it. He never hesitated. He knew it was right. He was committed, and he did the right thing. And it's something that Mike alluded to. Every morning when I sit outside with my wife and we hear the trains go by, I know that one day soon we're going to have a quiet zone, and Grady's the reason we're going to get it. So thank you, Grady. We're going to miss you. You did the stellar service for this city, and nothing but the best going forward for you. Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd like to say to Councilman Simpson, thank you with great respect, great dignity, great honor. You have an unparalleled willingness to serve this community, and it's unconditional. And I love that. We're grateful for all you've done. We're grateful for all of you have done, because you're not paid, and your commitment is unparalleled. So thank all of you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
So lastly, Grady, as you part, we're going to finish our council meeting, and we rushed. And I want to thank, you know how good our staff is, right?
Yes.
So they weren't aware we were going to do this, and man, they always hit it out of the park, always. So thank them for giving us this moment to share with you. But hold your head up high. Be proud of everything that you've done on the council. I have a plaque here. It says, in recognition of your service as District 2 City Council Member, Grady Simpson, August 15th of 2017 through May 14th of 2024. If you'll come forward and let me present that to you. And then, or do you want to say some words first?
I'm just kind of blown away now. Just didn't really expect all of this, but serving on the city council has been, other than being a father, has been one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life. I never thought I would be here. Back in 2017, Reggie Pegram, the late Reggie Pegram, came to my house and asked me to be a council member. We got into a big argument because I told him, I said, you do it. And he got mad at me and said, no, you do it. You know, going back just like little boys, right? And Charles Gann, I don't know if you remember the late Charles Gann, we was in the gym, I've taken him through a training session, and he looked up at me in his wheelchair. He said, Grady, it's time for young folks to step up. He said, son, you need to go ahead and put your name on the dotted line. And after that, I just came on, and here I am. The relationships I've built, the wonderful things I've been able to do with our council, so many individuals stick out of my mind, particularly Mayor Ronnie. I remember when she was running for school district, for one of the seats for the school district. And man, she came in Starbucks. Reggie had me to meet you there, and she had a little assistant with her, and man, she was ready to go. I always call her the little woman with the big stick. And here she is. And I won't be surprised if she becomes a congressman or be a mayor. She's a powerful young lady. And it's been a pleasure serving with her. And of course, you know, with Rick Kimona, he and I, you know, grew up here in Terrell. And I just remember playing ball with Rick. I was a running back and he was a lineman. And I couldn't understand why Rick would always look back at me before the play started. But I think he was just really saying, are you ready? That's what I really think. And I just see Rick saying that now. You know, he said he counted on me for a lot of things, and we had a lot of great discussions about Terrell. And I really miss sitting in your restaurant and talking about the Cowboys and the city, you know. But, you know, it's just been some great times, you know, serving with the city council. You know, Mr. Sims has been so impactful in my life. I remember when I first met him, and we were have a discussion about the city, and every single time he pulled out a map. But you know what? I appreciate those moments because it was like I went through a college lecture. And man, every time I left him, I was always smarter, better, and stronger, you know, when I walked out of his presence. Stephanie Holmes Thomas has gave me some lectures about housing and about building and measurements of a house, supports, and all those type of things. I've become an expert in probably how to build a house. Maybe I'll be your partner one day. But she's been so instrumental in brightening up my understanding about the housing, you know, here in Terrell. And I'm just so grateful for everybody. Attorney Shumpert has always made me look smarter than what I was. I remember when I first got on council, man, I was like a deer in headlights, and he would sit right beside me and kind of whisper something in my ear and kind of interpret things for me. Just when you have people uplifting you, that just really contributes. You know, you see the people who are great, but it's the people behind them who really, really make the difference, the people who upholding them. You know, our staff, you know, Allison Walker, our community liaison, she's a woman of so many different talents. I think she can probably be a city manager. I don't know, but there's so many talents. And I remember meeting Omara when she first got here. Just a shy young lady, you know, kind of quiet in the background, but all of a sudden she just turned into this big, beautiful beast and become so amazing. It's just great to see that, you know, working with Raylan. Raylan, I didn't know you had that kind of knowledge about downtown and buildings and how things need to be built. It was just so amazing working with our staff. Without you guys, I couldn't be what I am today. And I'm better because of you. And Ms. Dawn Style, coming here for John Roosevelt, I didn't think it was anybody who could do that. Because John, I've had many conversations with him, and I used to look at him in awe and go like, man, I said, this guy, he's just really irreplaceable, but you have come and filled those shoes well and done a tremendous job. Wow, I guess I can go on and talk about a lot of people, but I want to thank each and every one of you. You've been great for me, for my life. My life is on a whole different stage because of who I've been associated with here at Terrell. And I thank each and one of you. God bless you. And I'm always here in Terrell. I'm always a call away, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. So if you would please come forward, Grady.
Yes.
Again, Grady, excellent job, man. I've so much appreciated you being here, right? And as mayor, it means a lot to me to see that our group, our council, our colleagues, you can feel the love that we all have for each other. But it's really based on the city of Terrell and the love that each and every one of us have for this great city, born and raised here. You've definitely had an impact. You've definitely made a difference. So good luck to you, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Here we go. Good. All right. Thank you.
Can I pass this one?
Yes.
Also?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as more than one person's mentioned, this is an all-volunteer operation here between the mayor and all the elected officials. Staff is paid to do this for a living, but they're never compensated. None of those guys are paid. Councilwoman, mayor, councilman, councilman up on the video. Why is he on video? He's earning a living, right? So these folks have real lives, real jobs, real commitments, and they do all of this on the volunteer basis. So we really can't give you much, but what I can tell you is that occasionally I can give you food, right? So this is a little gift certificate that we like to do. KB Cattle is nearby, so it's a local set of steaks that you can get here. So this is a little gift certificate that we're given for that. And they even will deliver to his home. Isn't that nice? Wow. And so there you go. We could never pay you, but we'll give you a little food every now and then, all right?
Awesome.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it,
Appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Don't lose it.
I won't. God bless you, man.
And before we move on to our regular agenda items, I want to show y'all something that is delivered to us as council members from our little kids, K-Kids from GLA, right? And so I'm going to ask staff if there's a way that we could get the group that does this to our council meeting before the end of the year so that we can recognize them and thank them in person. But, you know, like Mike said, we don't get paid to do this job, and we take a lot of heat sometimes for the decisions that we make. But the little gifts that those kids make for us, I have them at home on my desk, and it just reminds me who really counts. And it's the kids that we're making these decisions for so that they have a better place in Terrell as they grow up. So thank them. Let's see if we can get that worked out. Next item on the agenda is to hear remarks from visitors. We do have someone in the audience who wishes to speak. That would be Wanda Lee. If you would please come forward to give your address. State your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wanda Lee, and I live at 10859 Ed Horton Lane. It's in Terrell, but it's in Elmo.
Okay.
I'm addressing the homeless community here. When I was born in Wills Point, it was the country, and now Terrell has become a city since I've gotten back to it. And with the population growth in Terrell, the homeless population also is growing. And I didn't know if, or I hadn't heard anything, if the city council had considered not the problem of the homeless, but the situation with the homeless. I have a couple of houses in Dallas that are for the homeless. And I talked to Miss Dora here and see if they would consider a small, tiny house community outside the Terrell city limits for the homeless. That was my issue, because you don't want to get it out of hand, because Dallas homeless population now is out of hand. And you want to get it before it, like I said, get out of hand. The thing of it is, I was homeless for a while in Dallas. And I know I was a nuisance, but I was a nuisance that could not be helped. And you don't want them to be a nuisance to the population growth here, you know, irritating people, you know, their nerve panhandling and all that kind of stuff. And if they have a situation where they are secure mind, I help them get jobs, ID, Social Security, disability if they need it. And they have a time limit of 6 months. Some of them do less to get out. And right now I have 4 in a house, and the other 4 are self-sustaining. And that's why I'm trying to see. I don't know if, like I said, if the city council have considered it or not, but this is what I want to put before the city council to see if, because I know the city has some property, but you have some in the city limits, and I don't know if you have any outside the city limits that you consider, like I said, a small, tiny house community.
Okay. Well, yeah, so during this portion of the meeting, we receive comments, and then we'll have staff reach out to you.
Right.
And we'll do it that way. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your comments. Our next item on the agenda, is there anyone else, Don? Is that it? Okay. Our next item on the agenda is boards and commissions. But 4.1 would be to discuss the May through August of 2024 calendars. This will be handled by Don Stile.
Mayor and council, the May through August calendars are in your packet. Please note that the May 10th workshop was canceled, and I'm trying to coordinate a new time for that and a date, and I'll let you know when that is done. We do have a regular city council meeting next week on the 14th. If we go to June, I'll also say the library summer reading kickoff is June 4th from 5 to 7, and we'll have a regular city council meeting that day also. We have one on June 25th. And if you go to July, the council meetings that month will be the 16th and the 30th. And if you go to August, it will be, the council meetings will be on the 6th, the 20th, and the 27th. and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I would say that on June the 4th, with the library summer reading program getting kicked off from 5 to 7, if you could be there to support the library and their summer reading program, and if you're going to do that, which I plan on doing, then I don't need a meal before the council meeting, and I'll just stay right up until the time I have to come for the 6 o'clock meeting. So if y'all would entertain that, again, that is on June the 4th. I think, I know the librarian would appreciate that, and so would her staff, to be there and show some support for that program. The rest of our meetings, if you have a conflict, please let staff know immediately, and if we can make an adjustment for July or August, then we could still do that, right? And then our utility meeting that we had to reschedule, that we're attempting to reschedule. Remember, this is an opportunity for us to hear from folks that represent and present to the council to answer questions. These are experts. So if you feel like that's something that's very is important to you as we look at utility rates, let's try to get a date where we can get most of the folks there. All right? Anything else? Anybody else have any comments or questions on the calendars? Yes.
I wanted to ask, do we have have we set up a date yet for the training sessions we've kind of discussed previously about for our board meetings, like the ZBA and the the Building Standards Board?
Yes, sir. That's just in progress right now. We're trying to get the legal team and those meetings scheduled. So as soon as we get that done, we'll give you a heads up and let you know when they're scheduled.
Okay. I'd like to be in attendance for those. So if you would just sort of, if someone could shoot an invite to me as well, I'd love to attend.
Absolutely. We'll do it.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda is 4.2, discuss and consider Terrell Economic Development Corporation Board appointments. This will be handled by the mayor, right? Okay. Gotcha. So I have some notes here, right? So as you know, we have a council representative who usually sits on the EDC board to work as a liaison between the council and the EDC, and to give feedback to the council when they meet and the decisions that they made, and to why they have made those decisions. That way we're more prepared when they present to the council. This does fall under my purview, so I want to thank, first of all, Grady Simpson, District 2, for serving on the EDC board for the last, I don't know, how many years have you been on there now? Since 2019, right? All right, so wealth of knowledge. We're going to miss you. Again, big shoes to fill for District 2, but I have no doubt that the new councilwoman's going to be able to do that and step in running. But at this time, the mayor would like to move to replace District 2 Grady Simpson with District 3 Mayor Ronnie Velasquez on the Terrell Economic Development Board. That is a motion from the mayor. We have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 4. Is there any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is discuss contract recommendation for RFQ 24-08, appraisal services and review appraisal services. This is going to be handled by our downtown project manager, Raylan Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. In coordination with our Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, which is a grant paying for the waterline improvements for Poetry Road and also Highway 34 South. So just not to confuse anyone, these are not connecting projects. They are two projects that are being paid by the same grant number. The mayor and I had a long discussion about that this morning. Part of the process was to release an RFQ so that we can make recommendations for two separate appraisal services. You will have the initial appraisal, and then you also have a review appraisal. So this is just following those guidelines and an RFQ that was released. We'll come back next week and request the contract based on the recommendations and the scoring.
All right, does anyone have any questions over this item? Again, we will see this next week. All right, thank you, Raylan. Next item on the agenda to discuss Terrell State Hospital design and construction update. Again, this will be handled by our downtown project manager, Raylan Smith.
So I got a few things to report to you for the Terrell State Hospital. Last time we were here, we talked about Terrell State Hospital, and in agreement with TxDOT is going to actually pay for the construction of the new Terrell State Hospital entrance, which will take it from Birch Street to Highway 80, which is really good news. After TxDOT reviewed our design contract for that entryway, they were able to make some cost adjustments even on our design contract. And so I'm working to get those final numbers back from Kimley Horn. But in the meantime, I did receive a request from the construction manager at the state trying to come up with another option for construction entrance for the next 2 or 3 years when we talk about bringing in the heavy machinery, when we talk about all of just the contractor traffic that's going to be coming in and out of that area. So worked with Jeremy Mungen, who put together this no, you're good. Yeah. Who put together this exhibit. This is an existing city road that kind of runs back behind the Terrell Police Department there on Highway 34. And I say road, we basically have driven this path long enough that the clay is down where it should be. So having Jeremy look at how we could design a roadway surface that would be equivalent to something that was sturdy enough for a fire truck. So this is fire truck rated. In the savings that Kimley Horn will be proposing for the design services on the Terrell State Hospital entrance, it looks like we could possibly just reallocate some of those funds to put in this temporary construction road for the state hospital, actual hospital construction. And the benefit to that, of course, is keeping the heavy equipment and all of the additional traffic off of our city roads. So they would take the path of State Highway 34 through this construction pathway, and they would enter the hospital construction zone through that pathway. We were getting quotes, expecting hopefully one more within the next week. If we are saving approximately $100,000 on the engineering design, which is the number that we're looking at right now, the road costs would come in lower than that. State Hospital construction team has agreed to maintain this road during the 2 years that it takes to construct the hospital. And then, of course, once the hospital is complete, then now the city has an actual roadway that they can use, and this is a path that they take to help maintain the property that connects to the state hospital. So kind of a long story about how we're saving a little money, but requesting it be reallocated to another portion of this project, which will save some wear and tear on our city streets during the 2 years of construction.
So really, there's no cost, but the benefit is that we're going to get these heavy-duty trucks off of residential streets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a safety and roadway impact.
Absolutely.
That we're saving at no more cost.
Right.
We're just going to take
we would not be spending any more money than you originally would just designing a new entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's good, but this is Councilwoman Mayor Ronnie Velasquez's district. What do you think?
So I want to make sure I understand, Raylan.
Mm-hmm.
We are are we still doing the entrance from Birch to Highway 80, the temporary entrance, or that's a no-go because now we are proposing this new back entrance for construction?
So your employees, your day-to-day traffic that is already at the state hospital will continue to come in on Birch during construction. However, all of the construction traffic, your worker vehicles, all of your large equipment, all of your deliveries will come in from State Highway 205, cut back behind the police department and go in the back way. As soon as the new entrance from Highway 80 opens, then staff and everyone else would start using that road. Construction crews would continue to use the temporary construction road until the hospital is completed.
And just to clarify, because I think you said Birch instead of Bryn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, the day-to-day traffic for day-to-day employees and vendors and that sort of thing, they'll all go into the existing Bryn entrance. A few years from now, when it's done, we will relocate all of the traffic to the new connection off of US 80, off of their new driveway, which is a TxDOT funded project.
Okay, and that's where I heard Birch. Well, yes, it would be nice to avoid having any additional traffic in the neighborhood area. I know any traffic that we can get off of the neighborhood roads will be helpful. So I do appreciate having this backup plan and not having both staff members or even just construction going in through an existing neighborhood.
So I think it'll be a win-win for everyone. And the state hospital was very excited about this possibility too. So.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else?
I just want to clarify, I can understand, I see where it starts. Where does this road end? It's kind of covered. Tell me where it'll end. I know it's 1600.
It goes all the way to that gated entrance. So there's two fences between the City of Terrell property and the state hospital. So it dead ends on the Rock Road that you can take that goes to the Pond Park area there at the state hospital. So they would essentially, it dead ends to a state hospital road, and then they'll enter through there.
And then the second question, can you give me like a timeline on like how fast we will be doing this, you know, with the?
State Hospital is hoping that we have this road completely ready to go by the end of July.
Okay.
Because they want to start moving trucks in August.
Okay.
So that's their goal.
All right. Good. Anyone else? All right.
Real quick, will any aspect of this project, whether it be the construction road or the actual entrance that's kind of the final entrance, will any of it require acquisition of land using eminent domain?
No, we're using an existing roadway on city property. We did approve right-of-way access from Highway 80 for the TxDOT new entrance, but I mean, there's no formal eminent domain proceedings, no, sir.
But I guess what the councilman's asking is there going to be a need for us to acquire some property that we don't already own?
Yes, and so
within the 3-year period.
that resolution was passed whenever we did your large projects.
We authorized that already.
We authorized that back in January before the engineering contract.
Right.
And just for clarity.
Okay, so it says same parcel of land we talked about then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
No new
the-
parcels,
yeah,
Right.
Councilman. No new parcels.
No, yeah, and also important to say for everybody in the audience, council already knows this, the land that is necessary for the permanent access road off of US 80 has no structures on it. There's no buildings or houses or anything like that on the access road route to US 80.
Okay. Anyone
Thanks,
else?
Raylan.
Anyone else? Thank you, Raylan. Next item on the agenda is discuss city council recommendation for the WRA Architects and Court Construction for the Pet Adoption Center, task order number 2. Again, downtown project manager Raylan Smith.
So a really quick update. I know everyone has been wondering about our animal shelter. So WRA, if you recall, back in September, you approved the first task order for the Pet Adoption Center, and that was to put together some concept plans, do an evaluation of the building, kind of figure out where we are, and put together some phasing for that building. So I wanted to bring to you some of what they have put together. We wanted to highlight where our focus was in that first phase, and of course, that is in the highlighted pink area. This is the kennel area, which is right next to where it says outdoor runs with pet grade artificial turf. So this is going to be the wing side of the building, and this is where we're proposing the kennel space for the new Pet Adoption Center. So your phase 1 renovation is the entire 2,842 square feet of the wing. And the cost estimates that are coming back is just to prepare that space for animals. We're looking at approximately adding the plumbing drains. You'll have the HVAC, also your exhaust system, all of your electrical upgrades, fire suppression, which would be throughout the entire building, doors, hardware, metal building bracing. We also would have the cost of FF&E for all of your new kennels. The remaining portion of the building, which is still there in gray, is absolutely going to be utilized. You will have your cat rooms. You also have offices. However, we're not phasing any real construction needs at this point. WRA and CORE went through this plan with our animal control, and I know the chief is in the audience today, and so we just kind of walked through how this could be set up. What are some of their needs? What's some of the spacing that's going to be available here? The cost estimate for phase 1, which is the kennel wing, came in right at $2.9 million. In speaking with WRA and CORE Construction, staff has put together a request for the next task order for both WRA and CORE Construction, because we do feel like that there would be some cost benefits to bidding this project at the same time that we bid Fire Station number 3. So if we're going to have contractors here and it is the same type, a lot of what is beneficial when you have multiple municipal facilities going at one time, you get, the same HVAC systems, you get the same hardware, you get a lot of those bulk purchases, and also the benefit of having the contractors in town working on projects at the same time. So I've done estimates for you for all of the pre-construction phase, which would be pre-construction all the way through bid documents for CORE Construction. That is still included within their first task order, which was the $10,000. And then WRA is going to be a percentage of cost. And for this task order, you're looking at, 83. So this task order, getting you all the way through bidding documents, is still within the original amount that was budgeted for this project. And so approval of these task orders would allow us to go all the way through engineering and bidding docs for animal control.
Okay, so this will come back next Tuesday? Mm-hmm. And your request is going to be for an additional what, 83?
So it would just be for the 83,000.
Uh-huh.
So task order number 2 for CORE Construction, it's still within that $10,000 pre-construction amount, which was originally approved. So I'm just showing that that money is still allocated.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this item?
Raylan?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay, with this addition, like have we budgeted for this, or if not, where will we get the funds for this additional 83,000?
So the 83,000 we have absolutely budgeted for. We did put money, we set money aside in 2023 C, and also in a previous CO, money has been set aside for design and engineering of the Pet Adoption Center. So there is money funded for it.
Okay. And you said there's a cost benefit just because when they send this through with the work that we're doing on the third fire station, do you have any idea of the savings that we may incur?
No, it just, whenever we were talking to CORE, you know, if you're able to keep them on the same schedule, if there are benefits, you're gonna pick them up with those. And you go ahead and you lock in the prices, and then you kind of maneuver your schedule between the two projects.
All right, thank you.
I think the most important thing to underline with this particular effort is the 83,125 gets us the next step in the process so that we can move forward and actually get construction pricing, which I think is what we would all like to see. The challenge to the architectural team and the construction team was, what do we need to do so that we meet state of Texas standards the day we move in? And so we were really trying to get in at a way where we're doing the right thing, doing an expansion, but also doing a way where we had our eye on meeting the minimum standards that Texas, the state of Texas has for us. And that's, you know, an annual veterinarian inspection and some sanitary rules and some health-related rules that are very, very challenging to meet. So that's sort of what we're up against there.
All right.
Raylan, my question is around timeline. So does this, moving in this direction, would it help move up our timeline? Are we still, you know, sort of in the same timeline period? And then what time period are we looking at having, if we move forward with the current plan you're proposing, when would we expect to potentially open the doors?
So based on the timeline, if we go through the bid negotiations, which would be the same timeline as the fire station. So what we're proposing to bring to you are contracts, recommended contracts right after the first of the year, which would be the month of October. They're proposing just a 9-month build, and so we're looking at mid-2025.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? And we will see this again Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
On 14th.
Good question, Raylan. So I have to admit, I got a bit of sticker shock looking at the 2.9 million. That being the case, is the 2.9 million, is that about what we projected for this particular project, or is that coming under budget, over budget? What are we thinking there?
I think it's fair to say that number's higher than what we were hoping for when we originally went down the path of acquiring the building. We're still saving money overall because it's less expensive than building something new, but that's not a number that we were all thrilled about.
Yeah, it seems rather high considering we're taking an existing animal shelter and just making a nicer animal shelter for 2.9 million. I would love to kind of maybe set up some time to meet with you, Raylan, to kind of go over line by line, just kind of see what it is we're spending that's getting us to that 2.9 million mark.
Absolutely. You will note there's going to be a lot of your underground, your plumbing, your drainage, just having the separate systems. And I would be glad to go through all of that with you. There's just a lot of regulations with the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Thanks, Raylan.
Sure.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the 5.4, discuss resolution number 2153, authorizing a consolidated rail infrastructure and safety improvements program grant and statement of local funding. Again, Raylan Smith.
So real quick, because I will have official news and everything to you in staying with our timeline for the Chrissy grant, Our Paddock meeting is on Friday, so y'all are kind of getting a glimpse of what Paddock is going to get to see on Friday. But I wanted to make sure that we had time for discussion, just mainly so we can get all of these things in place before the end of the month for our Chrissy grant. So in your packet, I have included a draft resolution that would be from the City Council, and that's resolution number 2153. And there is also a draft resolution 2024-3, which I'm proposing as the Paddock's recommendation to City Council. A lot of what this resolution covers is the Paddock's request for authorization to allocate funds necessary to meet all the funding requirements for the 20% local match of the Chrissy grant. The last page of your packet, I have put together just a very brief budget, the numbers that we'll be talking to Paddock about on Friday. If we're looking at 20% with a little bit of cost overrun, these are the numbers that we're looking at. And so part of the Paddock Board's capital work plan, which was adopted a few years ago, was quiet zones. And so as I'll be reporting to them on Friday and have been updating along the way, we are finally to the point where if we're awarded the grant, we will definitely want to make sure that we have these items in place to put together the local match.
Anyone have any questions on this item? Again, this isn't requesting any funding. It's simply getting our ducks in a row. Should we
receive the
yes. Chrissy grant? Okay.
Right. The thing the federal government will be looking for is, do you have a realistic source for your local match? And are you really ready to go forward with that? So the TIFIA loan application is a very important one for us. That's a low interest rate loan that's on good favorable terms that helps us keep our costs down. And then obviously the Chrissy grant is then the major part of it to attempt to go out and get that $15 million in federal funds.
Okay. Anyone? Any question? Okay, our next item on the agenda is 6.1, discuss and consider update to the fiscal FY24, FY25, FY26 strategic plan. This is going to be handled by our senior policy analyst, Omar Mata.
Mayor and Council, good evening. As you can see, we are at the May 7th, so in your packet, you can see that final red line document that is going to be up for consideration next week at the May 14th City Council for vote. I do want to highlight the last time we presented this, Mr. Sims went over the new city vision statement. We did get some feedback from council as far as what the options are. So just to go over the ones that were presented before, option A was to be real. Option B was living with those acronyms there. Option C was legacy. Option D was leader. And then we got a new one from council to say lead the way. So kind of a little bit of what all of the other ones were saying: legacy of character, economic opportunity, authentic history, regional hub, distinctive neighborhood, hometown hospitality and values, everyone welcome, world-class quality of life, amenities in every development, youth and family focused. Kind of taking it down a little bit on here, we played around with it and just kind of did lead the way, but left out the that way it's a little bit less words to remember. So same kind of concept: legacy of character, economic opportunity, authentic hometown values, distinctive neighborhoods, world-class quality of life, active regional hub, youth and family focused. And then we have another one with a little bit mix of words there. I think the two that are on here is ambitious hometown values, which is the A, and then a worthy quality of life for the W. So you have two new options here in your options. Overall campaign the same, and these are really just for you guys to kind of think over, look at, as is in your packet, is there.
So go back to, I think, option E, I think. So think of it like this. You've seen A, B, C, and D before. If I back up one more to D, that seemed to get the best reaction from council last time around. And then we had an email come in from council that said F, right? So flip over to the next one. So that's E. E was the next one that came in. And we said, okay, let's take this one because this was a suggestion direct from council. And we just gave you a couple of different versions of this. So my suggestion to council would be between now and next week, think about A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's a lot of options. And give us some feedback on which of these that you like. Maybe rest it there on, I'm going to guess maybe F for a minute. So, you could do a version like this. You could say, well, I don't quite like those phrases, but let's switch over to option E. Option E is the longer one. Go back over to G. So, you've got just a couple of different versions of that. And my suggestion would be soak it in, talk about it, think about it, and shoot us an email, say, hey, I hated this one, but I love that one. And if you get any feedback tonight, we're happy to take it. Overall, I think we've got a good place with the entire update. I think there was a lot of consensus to go ahead and adopt a new vision statement when we adopt the new plan. And so I think it's a good opportunity for us, and I'm very hopeful that council will embrace, if not one of these versions, something so that we can walk forward and say, yeah, we're really embracing a new and improved vision statement to get less jargony than the old one out of the comprehensive plan.
Anybody have any for me, what I hear is that the message needs to be concise and to the point. If you talk to anyone who's doing advertising or anybody who's doing promotion, you can't have too much stuff and you lose people. They might read the first 4 bullet points of something, but if you've got 20 of them, they'll never make it down to the 20th, right? So I don't know, maybe it's just my short span. I want it to the point and be done and tell me what information I need. Let's think about that. I mean, you know what, council, this is going to be your decision. The mayor will support whatever you want to do on this, but please take that in mind. I might even say this. I'm going to do it with my son, who's much younger, and see what he thinks, because it's the millennials and that age that we're trying to capture with this. If we're going to be using it for community events and groups, and if we're going to put it on challenge coins, it needs to be able to fit that, shirts or social media. But I did notice this today when I was coming through the banners, they have messages on them. Each one of them has a different message. This doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing now, though. Okay. All right. Any comments?
No, I like E. Once again, going back to kind of the mayor's point of what is the purpose of the vision statement, or how do we plan to use the vision statement? Is it, basically a guiding principle for all of the departments and all of staff to honor the legacy of character, keep economic opportunity in mind, be a regional hub, be youth and family focused? Are they more so guiding principles when we think about the vision? Or is it like a branding that we intend to put on shirts? Because, as a just random example, because if it's more about like the branding, then I also agree with the mayor's statement about just being, short, concise, maybe even just 3 words or 1 word, 1 to 3 words. But if they're more so of guiding principles, it is how we intend to use the vision statement, then I think there's room to have, much more in there, like option E.
This is really focused on looking out as a community. If you go the next couple of slides, if you don't mind, Amira, if I go after G, keep going, next one. Notice how there's a staff mission statement, and and, you know, having worked through with the department heads on this, we're kind of comfortable with this as a staff mission statement. I haven't had a lot of feedback about it from council, but internally as an operating team, we sort of like this. And you would be approving this also, right? If you go to the next one, this was the one that was us telling ourselves what we need to do internally to be a staff mission for all of the new growth going on. You know, so we're telling ourselves, hey, staff, make sure you anchor all neighborhoods with amenities and identity. Make sure you build everything walkable, secure, and maintainable. Make sure you construct roads and infrastructure concurrent with growth. This is easy to tell a developer, hey, our city council told us to do this job for new and infill development. So you've got some direction to staff in other parts of what you're adopting. I think you really are aiming for your vision statement with trying to communicate to the public who you guys want us as a city to be identified as, right? So I'm going to say this one because I'm sure you're not going to pick it. For years, the city of Hearst has been a quality of life community. Okay, great. Whether you like Hearst's slogan or not, at least you know what they're aiming for because they're calling themselves Hearst, quality of life community. If you go back to the lead the way, I'm not trying to root for one over another. You guys need to choose it. The thing that can be easy for us in lead the way is that communicates something about who we are. We don't have to spell out the lead the way. I like spelling it out or spelling part of it out because it gives you some more details as we're talking about it. When somebody says, Terrell America, lead the way, well, that tells you something about who we think we are as a community. We're the regional hub. We're the center of it. We're where the action is. We're doing things better than other people. We're trying to be a leader in our part of the world. That, to me, that's got a lot of currency to it. That's a powerful, good, strong statement. So if you rally around that one, then the details aren't that we're going to say legacy by design, economic opportunity, authentic hometown values every single time we say it, but they're the detail that help us put some more form around it, right? So you might see, and again, I'm not trying to tell you to pick this one, you need to pick the one you like, but if your slogan, or I'm sorry, if your vision statement is lead the way, that's a good, powerful, strong, short vision statement that you're telling your citizens. And that's what you're aiming for here. What are you telling people who live here now about who we're trying to be as a city?
And I guess the reason I really liked E was because of everything that it, you know, just states, more of like guiding principles, but appreciate the differentiation.
Go ahead, Councilman.
So, Mike, you probably won't be surprised that I like lead the way the best, as you know, as far as the ones presented. Especially like I believe it's E as well, because I think that what I like about lead the way is that it's kind of it sort of takes some of the best ideas that staff came up with and kind of combines them in a way. And I think the statement itself is an action statement. It kind of gives you some very clear direction of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. You want to be a leader in this region. And I think, you know, like you said, we don't have to, every time it's written, we don't have to write down everything that every letter means, but as long as we know the underlying meaning, and when you kind of look in our documentation, you can drill down and go, okay, this is what that means. And it's very specific. It gives us a full set of instructions of what we're looking to be, you know, a legacy of character, economic opportunity, accentuating our history, you know, maintaining our distinctive neighborhoods, becoming a regional. It's every specific thing that we're kind of hoping to strive for. So to me, that's it encapsulates a lot, and I think it's the right direction to go in.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Will this come back when?
It'll be next week.
Next week as well? Mm-hmm. So you got 7 days, make a decision. And just think about it. And then, you know what? I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, individually. So if you'll reach out next week and just kind of let me know which way you're leaning.
Somebody else maybe want to hear my thoughts too then.
Okay, yeah.
You'll hear it.
Huh?
And you'll hear it.
Oh, okay.
I do like the shorter ones as well, we may can change some of the verbiage if leading the way is important, and maybe put a comma here and there. I'm so surprised that Councilmember Robinson did not like be the best when I look at the N and networking. So that's kind of that was one I thought he wanted. So sometimes we don't know what we think we know.
Right.
But I do think the shorter one, it's more catchy, but we can incorporate a lot of those things into either one of these, and I would be open to either one. But sometimes I do think the shorter phrases are more catchy, and we can still get our point across. And I'm just probably just a woman of fewer words than Councilmember Leilani. So maybe that's why I like the shorter phrases.
Direct. She's direct. All right. Y'all think about that, and we'll make a decision next Tuesday. Next item on the agenda is going to be 6.2. Discuss and consider resolution number 2154 of the City of Terrell, Texas, accepting a petition seeking the creation of the new Hillside Maintenance Public Improvement District of Terrell, PID number 8, within the corporate boundaries of the city, and calling for a public hearing for the City Council's June 4th, 2024 meeting, and authorizing the mailing and publication of notice of the hearing. This is to be handled by City Manager Mike Sims.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Dawn to roll over to what is the page 128, which is the map, because the map explains the whole thing very well. So this is the Hillside Zone. The Hillside Zone, as you guys know, we recently did our development agreement on this project that was approved by City Council. This is at the corner of North Francis and County Road 318. This is where Whit Ranch Parkway will eventually come through as a major connection through the north side of the city. Again, trying to make sure that major roads get built at the same time that new houses get built.
I'm sorry, I got a point of order here. I just noticed 6.1 was a discuss and consider. I did not notice that, so we need to take some action on 6.1. But if you're not ready to approve, we can postpone that. So let's get that done first. I apologize, Mike. Is there a motion on 6.1? The mayor moves to postpone item 6.1 until next Tuesday, which would be the 14th. Okay. I have a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas to postpone item number 6.1. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda, again, is 6.2. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so again, this is the Hillside Zone, and 320 acres under our negotiated development agreement. One of the things that the developer agreed to do is to take and put the caretaking of some of the major amenities into a public improvement district. This is very important for us because we don't necessarily have the resources to go out, mow, maintain, clean it, weed eat it, pick up the trash, and all that sort of good stuff. This is also a old soil conservation lake out on the north side of there. You can see where it says 34-acre city park up there. That's an existing lake that's been there since I think the 1950s, and that lake has a dam, and we will want to have a public improvement district available to us as we need to make spot repairs in the dam or clear out something that might be needing to get cleared out of the pond or in any of the drainage structures leading to the pond. So everything green on this would turn into something that the public improvement district can maintain. It's supported by a 3-cent maximum additional property tax on all of the future homes to be built in this area. And then that PID just stays there indefinitely doing that mowing and maintaining work. This is the same strategy that we took in several other areas. So you guys know the Buc-ee's area and the Crossroads area both have public improvement districts where, again, since they benefit from the local amenities and the local drainage system, they're paying a little bit of money every month to make sure that those are maintained. So that's the idea behind the Maintenance Public Improvement District. Jordan Sawyer here, who's one of our consultant team, who is managing us through this process and helping us get this in place according to state law. We're big believers in that, and Jordan is tasked with making sure we don't fumble any of the steps as we move through this fairly complicated and highly regulated process. So one step is to say, hey, we have the petition, we've received it, and another one is to say that we're actually going to schedule a public hearing for it. So one of the important items here is to look through here and say, okay, I've got a public hearing. I'm making sure that that public hearing is set on a particular date. You can see June 4th is the date for the public hearing. That way, if any member of the public has anything to say about it, they've got their fair shot to come forward. And again, that's really just part of state law as you're moving through this. And you can see that on an agenda item, page 120, if you wanted to see where that date is shown. So that's a quick review, and I'll work with Jordan to answer any questions that you might have about it.
Jordan, would you like to come forward, please? Does anybody have any questions? Well, do you have any comments first?
No, I think Mike did a great job. Like you said, we've worked together on both this and the prior deals out here, so Mike is very well versed in it. Like you said, it is kind of its own beast. I specialize in this public improvement district all over the area, so this is kind of what I specifically work on. But I think y'all have great management moving forward, well-negotiated deals with the developers here, so I think you have a great path.
So it complies with the Texas law?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yep.
All right. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Mr. Jordan or Mr. Smith? I mean, Mike.
I'm Sim.
I know. I'm thinking of the judge for some reason. All right. Yes.
Perfect. And then this item will be very similar for the Capitol pit, so I'm happy to help as well.
Okay. And this is just putting in place the public hearing?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Right.
this is accepting the petition
First step.
on the hearing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Is there a motion?
I'll be back June 4th for the hearing.
Wonderful. Is there a motion on Resolution 2154? The mayor moves to approve resolution number 2154. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from the mayor, a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, to approve resolution number 2154, calling for a public hearing on June the 4th of 2024. Is there any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 6.3, discuss and consider resolution number 2155 of the City of Terrell, Texas, accepting a petition seeking the creation of the Hillside Public Improvement District of Terrell PID number 9 within the corporate boundaries of the city, and calling for a public hearing for the City Council's June 4th, 2024 meeting, and authorizing the mailing and publication of notice of the hearing. Again, Mr. Sims.
So this is going to be a similar item, but this is the one associated not with the Maintenance Public Improvement District. This is the Capital Public Improvement District. And I'm looking at this thinking that we actually have we accidentally repeated the maintenance one twice. And can I say that if we'll take a moment to skip this item, I could probably just print and hand out the other one real fast? Yeah, so,
Okay.
Mayor.
Is there a motion, with no exception, the mayor moves to suspend the rules and move to item number 6.4. Is there anyone who has an exception? All right, so move. We are going to take item 6.4, discuss and consider resolution number 2156, authorizing contract agreements between the City of Terrell and Union Pacific Railroad for preliminary engineering services and proposed railroad closure agreements. This is going to be handled by our downtown project manager, Raylan Smith.
So we definitely took your comments at the last city council meeting very seriously. We have put together a resolution proposing that the city council authorize the city manager to sign the agreements as presented by Union Pacific Railroad. But in your section 3, it does specifically say that the agreement for the crossing closure at Delphine will be upon final documented issuance of the NOI, which is your notice of intent, which allows for the acceptance and approval of the UPRR credits for the closure of the railroad at grade crossing at Delphine Street to be accepted and used towards the calculation. So basically, we know that we have the funding for all of the maintenance agreements, and we will be glad to allow them, based on their request, to close Delphine as long as we're guaranteed the documented notice of intent approved by Union Pacific Railroad. So this is something that I could hand over to Union Pacific, let them know that we have everything in place as soon as we get our documented response for our notice of intent.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? We've discussed and talked about this closure before.
And we'll, of course, keep everyone updated whenever that does occur, but this does put in place those steps.
All right, and this is Resolution 2156. Yes? All right, would you read into the record Resolution number 2156?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight Resolution number 2156, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, authorizing the negotiation and execution of contract agreements between the City of Terrell and Union Pacific Railroad for submitting a notice of intent to create a railroad quiet zone, a reimbursement agreement for preliminary engineering services, and a proposed railroad highway grade crossing closure agreement at Delphine Street, and establishing an effective date.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion on Resolution 2156?
Yes, Mayor, motion to approve Resolution 2156.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion from Grady Simpson, District 2, a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, to approve Resolution number 2156 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous consent of those present. Next item on the agenda is, are you ready? Or no?
Yeah.
Can we go back to?
That is great timing.
All right, so we're going to take up 6.3 again. It is to discuss and consider resolution number 2155 of the City of Terrell, Texas, accepting a petition seeking the creation of the Hillside Public Improvement District of Terrell, PID number 9, within the corporate boundaries of the city, and calling for a public hearing for the City Council's June 4th, 2024 meeting, and authorizing the mailing and publication of notice of the hearing. Mr. Sims.
Okay, so this is the more complicated one of the two, and I wanted to make sure you had that particular resolution in your hands. This is the one where now we're doing Public Improvement District number 9. It's the exact same land area. It's the 320 acres. And this time what you're doing with the Public Improvement District is you're creating your borrowing entity. The borrowing entity goes out there and says, okay, we're going to estimate a dollar amount, and I think we've got $65 million in here as the cost of the public infrastructure. So take a deep breath and think about that for a minute. In order to build 4 lanes of Whit Ranch Parkway, the water, the sewer, make sure the parks are there, make sure the trails are there, make sure the local roads are there, the developer is spending $65 million. How are they going to do that? They're going to rely on the creation of the Public Improvement District, and they're going to take the Public Improvement District and the tax increment refinance zone that will be on that land. We're going to funnel that together, and as those homes get built, we're able to pay that off over the course of time. And the Public Improvement District is financially separate from the city. That's why you're following all these state laws here, and you're making sure that what you're doing is creating something that can rely on only the property values within the land area. So taxpayers throughout the City of Terrell don't support this. It's only the new folks who move here who are in those houses and in those. Whenever they buy that house, they know that they are paying an extra assessment associated with the public infrastructure they're living next to. So that's how it works in short. Again, the maximum borrowing amount here is $65 million. This is, again, 100% consistent with the development agreement that was recently approved. And now that we've received the petition from the landowner, this is actually a good sign, right? It's a sign that they're moving forward and they want to go ahead and get the debt instrument done so that they can get out there and start building roads. and water and sewer. And I think one of the most important questions is, well, how realistic is it? Are they going to actually be doing this anytime soon? They've also submitted a fully engineered set of plans for the roads, water, sewer, drainage for both Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Hillside project. So they're working on building not just part of the project at a time. They want to go ahead and build the first 2 phases of the development. So that's good news for us. And again, the hearing will be on June the 4th.
All right, Mike. So again, council, this is just telling the developers to bring their own roads and infrastructure to the city when they're doing the developments and not be on the backs of our current residents. And this allows them a funding mechanism to be paid back. All right. Anybody have any questions, comments? This 300 plus acres that's in this?
Yes, sir. This is the 320 acres. And if you want to go back in the memory machine here, Hillside started as a 240 acre development. And then as they worked through their numbers, they decided to add an additional 80 acres of estate lots to the project. So that's what gets you to the current 320 acres.
Okay. Greg, would you read resolution number 2155 into the record, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 2155, a resolution accepting a petition to create the Hillside Public Improvement District, setting a public hearing under section 372.009 of the Texas Local Government Code on the advisability of the creation of the Hillside Public Improvement District of Terrell, PD number 9, within the city of Terrell, Texas, and authorizing the issuance of notice by the City Secretary of Terrell, Texas, regarding the public hearing.
All right. Is there a motion on resolution number 2155?
Motion to approve item 2155.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Phil Robinson, District 5, a second from Grady Simpson, District 2, to approve resolution number 2155 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries, unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. Council, is there anything you need to pull off? If not, we will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Grady Simpson, District 2, to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries, unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is we are going to adjourn into executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. Section 551.071, consultation with attorneys, pending or contemplated litigation. Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. And Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiation. We are going to reconvene into regular session and consider action, if any, on items discussed in executive session. Are there any motion? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, we'll see you, Phil.
Thank you, Councilman. Hey, he didn't get a call during the meeting. That's what. We need to.